We are here today to talk about an interesting concept for the game going forward, and I want some community input on this to see what you guys think. So, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 6 months to a year, whenever this content was added, we do, of course, now have mythical gear inside the game. So this has been kind of all the craze, basically just farming for mythicals, seeing how many, essentially 5 rolls of stats that you can get, or what kind of rolls you can get, and it will be absolutely insane. And we have very okay ways to farm a lot of the mythical gear. So of course your classic sets like speed and such, you'll mainly be getting those from the hard mode of the existing dungeons. Some of your special sets like supersonic and merciless are of course going to be coming from Cursed City. Cursed City gives us charms, which can allow us to craft mythical versions of the Doom Tower gear as well. And then of course we do have the mythic charms that you can use, or now we just have flat out set bonuses or like set pieces from the forge passes that are mythical as well. So essentially we have ways to farm mythical gear except for 2 sets, and 2 of the debatably better sets in the game. So the first one is going to be Immortal, and the second one is going to be Cruel. Let's take a look at those sets real quick as a refresher, just in case you don't know. So Immortal is going to be HP plus 15%, which is a decent little bonus, and then heals by 3% every turn. This set is absolutely fantastic if you're trying to solo content or really sustain your team in some sort of a certain area. And then the other set that we have that we cannot farm mythicals for yet is Cruel. So attack plus 15%, again a chunky little bonus there, and ignores 5% of defense. This is probably hands down still the best 2-piece set that you can use as a secondary set on your champions. So of course we do have, or traditionally at least, we had 4 pieces that could be dedicated to, for example, like a Savage set, and now you have those extra 2 pieces that could be dedicated to Cruel. Now it's essentially you have 6 pieces that could be like a Merciless or a Supersonic, and then Cruel could fit in there as well. And what does this have to do with Raid? Where is this video going? Well, interestingly enough, there was a Reddit post, if I can bring that over, let's make sure it shows up, there we go, where somebody mentioned that they think having a mythical, immortal, and cruel gear drop chance inside the clan boss would be a good way to go. The clan boss chests. Now, most of the community seems to agree with this, so upvoted and agreed. We do not have a possible way to get mythical versions of these items. May as well just update, include a mythical % on top level Ultra Nightmare chests. Somebody said you can get them with money, so there is definitely versions of them in the shop, which I'm not a very big fan of. Maybe another difficulty as well to give these rewards. We will talk about that in a second. Ultra Super Duper Nightmare Clan Boss. Super Nightmare Clan Boss time. This is needed, and it's odd how it was not implemented. Although many of us can 1 or 2 key Ultra Nightmare, it doesn't change the fact that it's a huge hurdle for all of us at one point or another. Absolutely agree with that take from Randomly Elemental. They'll never do it, says Dragon2730. They wanted to nerf Clan Boss because we get too many shards and books, but the game would literally tank if that happened. I think that is probably very true, in all honesty. I think Clan Boss is a little bit stronger than they probably intended it, with how often you can get books and how often you can get shards and everything like that. Like, these are the drops that you can get from Ultra Nightmare Highest Chest Clan Boss, which are pretty good. You get a lot of Sacreds from this, you get a lot of legendary books and all that sort of good stuff, right? I think this, however, is a very good chance for Raid to implement a few new pieces of content into their game that would be fantastic. Buffing these sets, I think what we could do is we could essentially make a new difficulty of the clan boss. So whether it be, the super duper ultra nightmare clan boss, or whether it just be another name that makes a bit more sense, right? So maybe a supercharged nightmare or something like that, something cool, right? There could maybe be some different mechanics with it as well. So we've now seen the rise of infinity comps with someone like a Wixwell. The way they used to beat that was with the unkillable comps. It would basically just ignore unkillable at the 50th turn, so you could only last 50 turns at the most. You had to pump out all your damage within that time span. But now you can just go for a full 1500 turns and it doesn't really matter. So you can bring in basically a naked Kale and get your DPS done that way and still one key the damn boss. So maybe they could make this particular clan boss that has some sort of, skills or some sort of juiced up AI or some sort of a mechanic that helps to counter the infinity comps, right? So that's not just an easy way to cheese it. It could be very, very interesting to see what they do. Hell, they could even make it like a once per week sort of deal like they do with the Hydra. It could even just be an addition to Hydra, but I think we need to have chances to drop Mythical, Cruel, and Immortal gear. And what I would also like to see as well is to add some bottom piece options for Mythical, or for rather just Cruel or Immortal gear, right? So if we could get some rings or amulets or banners of either Immortal or Cruel, I think that would be pretty awesome. Obviously, they'd have to rework the set because you don't want to just keep stacking and stacking and stacking something like Immortal and just heal by an obscene amount. Cruel could definitely help you ignore a lot of enemy defense as well if you stacked it up. So maybe they could give speed bonuses or resistance bonuses or something like that, right? Like we already have the progressive bonuses with something like Stone Skin. Make it something like this. I think that would very much help to keep the clan boss relevant in today's meta, because realistically, for me at least, this is probably the most boring content that exists in the game currently, because every day I come in here, oh, I got some chests we gotta collect. I have like 4 different chests to collect, and it's actually like 8 because we downed all of them. Oh, I got some good rewards. Oh, this gear's trash. Sell it. Okay, how about Nightmare? Oh, gear's trash. Sell it. Oh, gear's trash. Let me show you that actually. Look at this. Look at this. We open this up. Oh boy, we got a 5-star. Yeah, decent stats below Rosa. Sell it. Alright. Oh, we got a 5-star rare. Oh, great content. This is so boring, and not only that, I come in here, I click 1 button, 2 buttons, and I'm done for the day. This is probably the most mundane and boring content that exists in the game in 2024, and I think adding that one additional level to it, or adding some juiced up rewards in the drop pools would definitely help. It's not really going to affect people's spending on the game because, again, like we're not getting mythical books from this, for example. So people always have to spend on that, of course. We don't get mythical shards from this yet, so people have to spend on that. There's so many levels of monetization to this game that I don't think their bottom line is going to be hurt by adding some mythical gear to this or some bottom piece gear as well, right? So I think that would be very nice to see. Most importantly, though, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think this is a good idea? Would you like to see this added to the game? What do you think of Clan Boss in its current state? Is it enjoyable content for you, or is it very mundane, kind of like I mentioned? I'd be very interested to hear about that as well. I think it's going to be probably pretty unanimous. Half the fun about Clan Boss is just building the teams, finding a composition on your account that works. So if they brought out a new Clan Boss, that kind of puts everybody back into that state where it's like, oh my god, I got to work on a Clan Boss team. Let's see what works. There's some new synergies or something like that to check out, right? And it just livens up the game a little bit. It gives people areas to progress, which is very important because a lot of this game, especially endgame, does come down to just farming and farming and farming and farming and farming and farming and farming, which gets tiring after a while, especially if you're just playing on mobile and, you know, your whole day is consumed by running Dragon 10 or something like that, just as an example, right? So the new factor of City of Centranos is starting to wear off, and I think we need a little bit newer content, so I definitely think this is a good way to approach it. Again, let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys for checking out the video and for the support on the channel. I'll see you next time.